Welcome back to another SCBWI featured illustrator interview. My name is Tamika Grooms, and I'm the Design and Illustration Manager for SCBWI. Every month, we select an Illustrator member to spotlight on the SCBWI website and social media pages to highlight the work that they're doing in the children's illustration market. This month's featured illustrator is Maya Shleifer. Maya, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. It's my pleasure to see you again. I think it's already been a couple weeks since we have seen each other at the SCBWI conference in New York this year. First of all, I want to say congratulations to you for winning the Gold Award for the SCBWI Portfolio Showcase Awards for 2024. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.
How has it been after the big event and winning the award?
I'm still try to understand how it is, but I found an agent, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, yeah. So, and if you don't mind telling everybody who your agent is, and then I'm going to follow that up with some information.
It's Kirsten Hall.
Uh-huh. Yep. With Catbird.
Agency, yes.
Yeah. So just so you all know, Kirsten is, she was one of our judges for this year. We had 3 judges, and they did a wonderful job at selecting the illustrators who would win the awards. And Maya was our gold winner for this year. So it's really nice to see a success story come out of the portfolio showcases, and I'm glad it was you. So congratulations.
I don't know how they did it, because I was on the last table in the last row. So, and there are so many portfolios. When I saw it, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many people there.
Well, they really take their time and go through each one of them. We had to rush them along a little bit too, but they really took their time and looked at each one of the portfolios. And it's also nice to see the other industry people come through as well. But there was lots of great work, and yours just stood out. So I'm happy to have you here to talk with you about your work today. So let's go ahead and get into the interview part of it. So tell us a little bit about your journey as an artist, and then we're going to get into your website and see some of the projects that you have.
My journey as an artist began as designer and art director, and I didn't plan to be an illustrator. It somehow happened to me when I had a small daughter, and I had a push to draw a book for her. And I understood that I don't know how to draw, and I was very shy about my abilities. So, and I worked full-time job as an art director in newspaper. But on my way to the work, I used to draw people, to sketch people in the train, and it became, I'm so fond of it till today. It became my everyday task to catch people's emotions in the evening, in the morning, like every day. And it gave me a lot of, it gave me a joy, but also it gave me power to begin to illustrate, to draw, and not to be so shy that I don't know how to do it.
And how long has that been where you've been going through this process of illustrating people or on the spot?
For 2 years. I draw only at nights or in the train, and I tried to illustrate, but I was not accepted by any publisher. It took me 2 or 3 years when I received my first offer in Israel.
Wow, wow. I want to go ahead and hop over to your website so that people can see this artwork that we're talking about. Okay, so I want to hop on down to the sketches first. These are the sketches that we were talking about. And what I really loved about this is that you're capturing the essence of this person in just a few brush strokes. I don't know what materials you're using, but in just a few strokes, you're capturing each one of these people. What materials are you using to do this?
Pencils, only pencils. I do it really fast, only 1-2 minutes. Also, people can move, can leave the train.
Do they ever catch you drawing them?
Yes, sometimes. I had a few cases when they try to hide themselves with books or something. Once I even asked if I am working for Mossad, if I am sketching people that they are searching or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's really interesting how you approach this. So it's not, yeah, I mean, I love the line, but then you're also adding the color too, and that adds a whole nother dimension of energy to it. Um, what I find like in my own illustrations is that this part of it can be really strong for myself. But then I tend to lose something as I go through the coloring process. I find that in your work, you don't lose that energy. And so I'm gonna be learning a little bit by observing how you work. But I love these, and I'm so happy that you've included these so we can see that on your website as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to let's see here. I'm going to go back to your main page. And you also had the honor of being an artist for the Google Doodle.
Yes,
How did
about
you how did you get to do that?
I don't know. They found me and I just received an email and they even asked me to draw Ronit that I did not know about her, like anything, because I wasn't born in Israel. I don't know people here. I immigrated when I was 16 years old. But then uh, I can draw somebody that I don't know him. So for several days and nights, I read about her and watched her movies, and she impressed me so much. I felt so connected to her that I was just grateful for the art director who asked me to draw her. And
Yeah.
at the end, I also met she deceased from the cancer in the young age. And at the end, there was a meeting with her brother, who is also a film director. And when I told him how I catch her and what I felt, he told me that you really met her.
Mm, mm.
It was
So it
very
was
exciting. It was a real meeting like this, really.
they found you online?
I think yes. Maybe they found me on women that draw something like that
Ah,
because there they could find also some women and also women illustrator from Israel. Then they did not tell me how they found me. I asked.
I learned about your work on our website. So that's why I'm just kind of curious, like how are people finding artists? But I think that's phenomenal that you've gotten an opportunity to do that. I want to hop over before we get to your children's illustrations. I also want to hop over into this very interesting project. So children's illustrations is what we're here in SCBWI for, but there's so many other applications what you can do with your art. And I love that you're bringing your art into other spaces as well. So this is the Familiar Strangers project that you have featured on your website. Can you tell us a little bit about this one, and then I'll scroll down?
As well as I'm sketching people, I'm also very fond of technology. So I always tried to create my own startup, to create my own games. It didn't work always. I had I had many times problem with this, but once I received the fund from a culture organization in Israel for my own exhibition. And then I thought, now I will not do it like a regular exhibition, I will do interactive show. And I imagined stories of some imaginal characters, and the people should walk in this space and discover the stories. And I used different objects. It was like using every option. Like sometimes it was more technological, sometimes it was, I even don't remember how it is called, the, the automat that you need to move and then you create the animation of the character.
So this was in a museum space.
Yes, it is art gallery in Jerusalem.
Ah,
Its name is Mamuta. It's a very beautiful place.
hmm. This is one of the images that we looked at for featuring on the website. We chose not to for a couple of different reasons, but I still really love this image. Um, it says so much with showing so little. It's a little girl and a dog and a tree, and there's lots of negative space around it. It's quiet, but there's all of this emotion that kind of comes through just with those elements that are shown. So I really love this piece in particular, and I was excited to see that you brought this into another space where people can interact with the artwork. So when they went into the space, there was a touching aspect to it as well.
Yes,
Mhm.
they had to touch to circle the like the lamp, and then they discovered the world of this girl.
Let's go to the video.
Ah, no, this one will not. It will be an animation. Ah, yes,
Yeah.
right. Here it is. It was also very difficult to film it because everything is happening in the darkness and it's a big space.
That's pretty amazing. I won't play the whole video, but I want people to really come to your website and click around and see some different things and see what you have available here. I was really impressed by this part because I'm also interested in like how do you put technology and all these different tools that we have now into the art that we're creating. So so this was really exciting for me. Thank you for sharing this on your website. So you have a few books out as well. Are there any books you want to share with us?
I'm waiting to the release of the book that you see here in the second line. That is no, this
Oh,
is mine book.
uh-huh.
But in the middle you see golems. There is nothing inside it because I'm still waiting. It will be published in April by Chronicle Books. I'm still waiting to the book to be released. It's a Jewish story, but it doesn't feel like Jewish story. It's just magic story.
Mm-hmm. And those are the ones that hit home for everybody. You know, it can be very specific to your experience, but there's universal themes that come out that everybody can relate to. Can you tell us a little bit about your process for your illustrations, how you create?
Yes. When I begin working on sketches, I typically draw the same thing almost mechanically several times, and like without intent to make it beautiful. I'm trying to catch the motion, the emotion, something like this. And typically it will happen after 5, 6, 7, 8 sketches that I do. But yes, I enjoy to do it without planning to do something beautiful, because then I discover something new that I didn't plan at all.
And where do you usually find your inspiration for your art?
I think every moment of my life is inspiration, really. Everything that we see, everything that we smell or sounds, the challenge is to perceive them like this. And the challenge is to just, for me, it's just to lie down, not to hurry, to close my eyes and to connect to myself. And then everything is beautiful. I can see the things, understand how to solve problems.
Mhm. I
So
can
maybe the sofa is the best inspiration. I don't know.
what was that?
Maybe the sofa, maybe the bed and
Yeah.
closed eyes are the best inspiration.
Yeah, it's true. I find that when I relax, ideas tend to come to me a lot easier. And you also have a piece on your website about this mole that you did an illustration with a mole, like the animal, a mole.
Yeah.
And I found a mole in my garden today. I was like, what is this thing that maybe these synchronicities are starting to show up to just remind me to be playful and to not be so rigid with my artwork. But to your point, like noticing the things that are around us and just being at ease, before we go into the art process can really be helpful. Yeah.
Right.
So, what type of materials do you use?
I love to experiment. If the story is more light, more humorous,
Mhm.
I think I will use pastel pencils. If it is more deep emotional story, I will use gouache, but I love to mix and to experiment.
Mhm. I really love how you keep, like I said, you keep the energy, but there's lots of texture in your artwork as well. So I'm, like I said, I'm going to be exploring your work a whole lot more, and it's nice to have these conversations with other artists because I'm always learning something as well. So, um, a question for you: what made you join SCBWI?
Because I felt stuck, very stuck and disconnected. And I think in the moment I found it and found all the materials that you share, it gave me it gave me a push that I needed.
Mm,
I am really happy that I joined the
yeah.
CBWI.
We're going to be on the lookout for that new book as well as keeping track of everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for being here with us. But before you go, tell us how we can learn more about your artwork, your website, social media that we should follow.
Website, Maya Schleifer, and Instagram.
But Maya, thank you so much for being with us here today. I appreciate you taking the time with us. Congratulations on all you've already accomplished and all that's coming your way. And we will see you very soon.
Thank you so much.